Today we're out at our hunting camp out on the west side of the nation. And right now I'm just prepping up some venison that the young people were able to harvest. I'm cleaning it up, getting most of the fat off, slicing it up so we can grind it up. What's important about it is they become providers for their family. Not only that, it's been part of our culture and heritage forever. Our people have survived off what they've taken off the land. And we try to teach them about respecting the land, the animals. You know, you get out here and you kind of clear your mind. You get away from all the hustle and bustle of the world, stresses of school and whatnot. So they get out here and just being able to relax and enjoy themselves and being able to enjoy nature. When you sober up and you got to learn to live a different lifestyle. So learning more about our culture was key to my sobriety. And it is still today. You know, the more we can teach these young people cultural ways, I think the better off they'll be when they get older. They'll have something to lean on. Everybody's got to have something to lean on through the tough times. We talk about how our people hunted for survival. It wasn't a camp, this was their livelihood. This is how they survived. Just understanding that component of it is huge. Well, not only the meat, but they use the hides for clothing and ceremonies, making drums and turning it into leather. A lot of things you can do with one animal. You know, it's a learning experience. Some of them have never hunted before, so this is all new to them. Just the adrenaline rush of seeing a deer, even if you don't get a shot at it, just the rush of being able to see a deer is cool. These young men and women that are out there, you know, almost rite of passage, so to speak, when they get their first animals. You know, they become providers for their family. They learn how to field dress it when they're out there. When they come back, they'll show them how to take the hide off the deer and how to quarter it up. The main one, of course, is the back strap, making the stakes and whatnot. But then the front shoulders, you do a lot. If you want to just leave it whole, you can make a roast out of the front shoulder. And I'm taking off a little skin here, this thick membrane. I'm taking that off. You know, you always get deer hair on there from when you're skinning it. Just try and clean it up as much as possible. What's important is so they can pass it down to their children and grandchildren. You know, we got to keep these things going, teaching our young people how to harvest deer. Not only harvest them, but now take care of them. Quite honestly, it's hunting is really the easy part. This is where the work starts right here. And to be able to sit down and do this work, this does take time. And you have to make sure you're patient enough to get the job done.
It's a pretty significant camp because like deer hunting is one of the main things for us. It really helps with finding something to do rather than following the trends that are going on, wanting to be a part of the crowds that are not as interested in our cultural traditional ways. Culture is key. Without culture, as Anishinaabe people, you know, if it's lost, then we don't have it no more, you know, and we're a part of that group that are still here, are still promoting it, making sure that it carries on. And it's super important for these generations to learn it, to continue that. We just try to step in at the earlier ages to promote culture, promote teachings that have been passed down to us through time. They're learning gun safety, getting the first deer, the teachings that come with that, how to skin the deer, gut the deer, how to cut it up, what to do with it once you get all that taken care of. If one of the kids get their first deer, one of the teachings in that is that they have to give it away to the elders. And I think that that's important too, because other people might not give that teaching to where you got to give it away. And I think in our culture, giving is the biggest form of respect. It's one of the things that kind of shows who we are as individuals, because it's more about giving than receiving in our culture. I think it kind of keeps you grounded, you know, with how things are in the world today with technology. Everybody relies on the signal and the connection. I guess I view this as like real connection. You know, I'm not connected to my device so I can respond to the world immediately. You know, I'm here, I'm present, I'm connected with everybody here, and that's where the real response is important, is to the people who are close to you and people that we're working with. I really like to see it grow as much as it has over the years, and being able to keep that going it's a really good feeling, knowing that we're passing along things to the kids, and they're going to be able to pass those things along as they grow too, and hopefully be a part of keeping it going in the future. If the younger generation doesn't learn it from us, chances are it could not be passed on to the next generation. So I think a lot of the staff that work at Chemical Health find it important to, really promote this camp yearly, to pass those teachings down from previous individuals that worked in the chemical health programs too, that really found this important to pass down to our generation. So now it's on us to pass it down to the next generations.